So I'm pretty sure in life, attention to detail is a very important thing, especially when it comes to the NFL, right?
Yes.
The teams that do the best are the teams that are focused on the nitty-gritty, right?
Yes, correct.
All right, so do we all agree that there is a major difference between can and can't?
Correct.
Right,
Yes.
right? Troy, our researcher. Troy, there's a difference between can and can't, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so when it says on the show sheet, hey, good news, Craigie, Jeff Schwartz, your co-host today, says the Giants can win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. That's an interesting line of conversation, considering that I got a lot of attention last week for merely suggesting that Danny Jones should get some consideration for most valuable player because the New York Giants are a 3-win team without the way he has played this year. But Jeff is telling me that he never said that. So I'm trying to figure out, does Jeff Schwartz, a man who played for the Giants, believe that the Giants can or can't? Oh, there it is. The Giants cannot win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones at quarterback.
Oh, so like the opposite.
Yeah, so the opposite of what Troy said.
Oh, the exact opposite.
Yeah, I'll start following you on Twitter today. I apologize for that. The New York Giants are in the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. Great. It's a great story. I agree Dable's a Coach of the Year candidate. I would vote for him as well. They don't have a lot of talent there. Danny Jones hasn't missed a game this year. He doesn't turn the ball over. He scored 4 touchdowns yesterday in what amounted to a playoff game for the New York Giants. How dare you?
How dare I?
How dare you?
How dare I? Yeah,
And why?
just throwing cold water. I'll tell you what, one of the best things that Brian Dable has done this season is get Daniel Jones out of making mistakes. It's been the best coaching job he's done, right? Because the fumbles, interceptions were killer for Daniel Jones. But look, Daniel Jones is playing well in the system, but he's the third best quarterback in this division. Do you agree on that? Are we on the same page on that one? Third best.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts 1, Dak Prescott 2, and Danny Jones 3.
Right.
That's fine.
So it's hard to win the division and be in a good playoff seed with Daniel Jones the next couple of years. I think we're in agreement there. Secondly, the refrain I hear from Giants fans is we'll get pieces around him. Absolutely true. You need a wide receiver, you need improved offensive line, all those things. But you're going to wait 2 or 3 years for that to happen? Like, you're going to wait 2 more years to evaluate Jones? Like, now's kind of the time, right? You have to extend him or not, maybe do a short-term deal. I'm fine with that. But the idea is, if you look around the NFC and the AFC as well, where does Jones rank as a quarterback? Yes,
but it doesn't matter where he ranks.
No, because quarterback does matter. You just said that.
No, it doesn't matter where he ranks.
Right,
It's the question to me is not, hey, is Daniel Jones the third best, second best, eighth best quarterback? Is Daniel Jones good enough to win? And he's proving right now he's good enough to win.
But when you look at long-term future and success, most often look at the division winners this year. Best quarterback of the division. Like, you need to get yourself in that position each year. And with Jones, I think there's going to be a lot of variance moving forward with the Cowboys being so good with Dak and the Eagles being so good with Hurts. To think they're going to win a Super Bowl with Jones, I think it's tough to sell.
Listen, once you get into the tournament, the postseason, obviously, I mean, you experienced with Eli Manning. If you told me Eli Manning was going to win not just 2 Super Bowls, but 2 Super Bowl MVPs, I would have told you you're butt-ass crazy.
I feel like Eli
Right?
I think Eli's a better player than Daniel Jones. Doesn't run.
See, and
obviously.
I don't.
Okay, so you don't.
I don't. Because Eli Manning is a regular season quarterback, was an average quarterback. Eli Manning, to his credit, Hall of Famer,
Agreed.
2-time Super Bowl MVP, played his best football on the biggest stage in 2 playoff years. But nobody ever wants to look at his stats or his 1-loss record outside of those 2 years. You know why they don't want to look at it? Because it's horrendous. It's embarrassingly bad. And while you cannot take away the 2 years he went to the Super Bowl, if you did, for the sake of the argument, in what was a 16-year career, and I didn't put his name on it, you would tell me that whoever that guy is, that is an average at best quarterback. The problem, of course, is he won 2 Super Bowls and was the MVP of both. But shame on you, sir. Because the notion that you have to be the best quarterback in the division to have a legitimate shot of winning a Super Bowl is just crazy talk.
It's more about how you get into the playoffs first, right? It's getting into the playoffs, which they've done this year. You have more chance each season if you have the best quarterback in the division.
Yeah,
so
I agree with more chance.
So you're relying basically on Daniel Jones leading to the wild card.
But think about this. The Giants are getting into the playoffs now, as we all agree.
Yes.
With the least talent of any team that's going to be in the playoffs.
Brian Dable has done an incredible job.
Okay, so then play it forward. If you could imagine for a moment the Giants start accumulating more talent, wouldn't it stand to reason they have a better chance of winning divisions?
How many years are you going to wait for them to accumulate that talent before deciding if Jones is?
Well, I'm going to enjoy what's happening right now.
You should. And
all right?
Don't take it away from that.
Well, you're taking away from it. That's what you're doing.
I'm robbing your joy.
You're ruining my new year.
I'm ruining your new year.
Yeah, I'm going to have a sip of this tea.
By the way, Giants fans are going to have every right to throw my tweet at me when they beat the Vikings in the divisional.
And by the way, that's who they would play right now. A team that, by the way, they lost 27-24 to a couple weeks ago, and the Vikings needed a 61-yard field goal from Joseph to beat them. So the New York Giants, we know full well, kind of similar, although different situation, when the Giants played the Patriots really well in Week 17 a few years back, and then met them in the Super Bowl. The New York Giants are not afraid of the Minnesota Vikings. I'll tell you something right now about the Minnesota Vikings. If the NFL stands for what it claims it stands for, and that is you may not touch a referee, Justin Jefferson of the Minnesota Vikings should not play another game this year. I don't care if it's by mistake. I don't care if he lost time. I assume you guys have it. Could show it here at some point. He took his helmet off and he went to slam it, and the referee's in front of him. He made contact with the referee's back and shoulder area with his helmet. He wasn't kicked out of the game, was he?
No.
No, he was not. Why not? The referee had to feel it. He got hit in the shoulder with a helmet. And I know he was frustrated, and it doesn't matter. He's an MVP candidate. He's the best wide receiver in football. And Justin Jefferson should not play another game of football this season. Or just tell me the rules have changed and tell me that I'm allowed to take my helmet off, whack,
like a chair shot,
and just start hitting referees with it. And again, I don't like the referees either. I don't stick up for the referees. The referees ruin sports for the majority of the time that they blow their whistle and talking to the microphone. All right? They miss calls. They make bad calls. I hate referees.
So
that being said, I will always protect the referee's right not to be physically assaulted at an NFL game. And Justin Jefferson physically assaulted a referee in that game against Green Bay yesterday, and he should be suspended for the rest of this year. And I get no joy out of saying that. I love watching the guy play.
Yeah.
But either we have rules or we have anarchy. I'm going to vote for rules.
This has nothing to do with the Giants playing the Vikings in the playoffs, does it?
Interesting.
Again, I'm not a Giants fan.
No, you're not.
No.
I'm a New Yorker.
You are.
But I'm not a Giants fan. Hey there. Thank you so much for watching The Carton Show. You can subscribe right here to get all the latest bits and segments from the show. And by the way, while you're at it, we have a lot of great shows on FS1, so check them out too.